Okay, so inside of Fisch, right, there is a tool, as you see, the weather matrix. So this is actually really, really broken and has some crazy passives and abilities that I'm going to be showing you in today's video. And alongside that, how to make it, do what you want. So the best way to use it and all of that. So the first thing is the weather matrix. So what this is, I'm just going to turn these on. So that is this thing right here, not the void gloves, but the weather matrix. So this has the ability to randomly, or not randomly, but this can just start random, or not random, sorry. This can just start like any weather event, not random, but this can start any weather event. So what this means is you can start any event, potentially, literally, I know it can force start what it means by weather events, not events, so you can't force start admin abuse, but I'll get more into that later. But you see a rainbow one. So this was started by the weather matrix, and as you know, if you want to get a totem for the rainbow event, this is very difficult, but the rainbow event itself is actually very, very rare. Now, as you might know, the rainbow is better than the auroras. The aurora increases all luck by, I think it's 8 or 9 times, and the rainbow is going to do 10 times luck. Then alongside this is also going to give a 15% chance for the mythical mutation. This is going to be a 5% chance for the rainbow cluster mutation, a 5% chance for shiny and sparkling. All fish will sell for an additional 1.5, which is absurd, which I'll get more into that later. This cannot be skipped with sundials, and even the rainbow cluster rod, this will be finally purchasable. So we go in over that. Now, the first thing about this, the weather matrix, is how easy you can obtain it and how anyone can get it. So this is going to be achieved doing the angler quest. Now, the angler quest has been buffed in the most recent update, as I can show you in the update logs. They specifically had a whole section about how the angler has changed and all that. So the angler has a bunch of exclusive rewards, better rewards, and gives more money for completing each one. Now, the benefit to this is going to be the items you can actually get from it. So the first thing is going to be the changes that they have made. So the angler quest now has a random 30% chance whenever you complete it to give you, I think it's 5 of either bait crates, carbon crates, or common crates. Then there's a 16% chance you get enchant relics and this bait called the Starlit Worm Bait. So the Starlit Worm Bait is really overpowered because it gives you a guaranteed chance for the War or Nova mutation, which is a 7.5x, which is pretty good. This is a secret bait. This is the only way to get this bait right here. So you only have 1 of them. You'll get like 2 to 5 of them. And the rarest reward of them all is obviously getting a Song of the Deep. But one of the other things you can get, you can get glitched potions, shark whistles, you can get the angler raft boat, but most notably, you can get angler gloves and the weather matrix. Now, the matrix has the absurd passive. As you can see, it will activate a random event based on the current thing you have going. Now, I'll show you how to increase your chances of getting what you want. Now, obviously, this has a cooldown of about an hour, meaning, you can only get better value out of it, but I'll explain how to get the best value out of it. So currently what I've been doing is I've been farming fish, just nonstop, using either the Fabulous Rod, the Ruinous Oath Rod, trying to get as many high value fish as I can. And then what I'll do is come back in and I will only use specifically what I need. So my goal is objectively to get a rainbow event to spawn in. And so I'll go till I have plenty of stuff in my inventory, right? So this is one of really the only ways you can easily get a rainbow event. So as a note, you can get a rainbow totem from the angler quest at a 3.2% chance, but it's a 3.2% chance. It's very unlikely. And for the weather event, being able to get a random weather event every hour is very nice. Now, the next benefit of the weather matrix is, say you want a nighttime event, you can actually, I've had numerous auroras activated with the weather matrix at night and numerous starfall events. This is very, very beneficial for multiple reasons, mainly being the multiple cosmic relics I've been able to get because of this, and the numerous grinds I've had. I've been able to farm much better with, getting these auroras, and you don't have to spend 5 million on the aurora. So that is yet another one of the benefits. Now, the next thing about the weather matrix that is really broken. So this is what you're going to want to do. So depending on what you need. So if you're trying to sell for a lot, so what I'm targeting is, say, if you're trying to sell for a lot, right? It's midweek, they're not going to run the gold storm update or an admin event. What we're going to do is target specifically the rainbow event. So this is going to be very easy to get. Now, as a quick note, what you're going to want to do is get the weather event rainbow. Now, the reason why is, as you can see, all these amazing buffs of this. Another way you can also get rainbow is this. This just shows you how rare it is. So it can naturally occur after rain at night during the start of the day. So after it's raining, after rain ends, there is a 0.6% chance it'll activate. Now, this will give you, though, during a rainbow event, as you can see, all fish will sell for an additional 1.5x, meaning you get 50% more value out of your fish. And then meaning, right, if you've grinded for so long, you keep trying to activate the weather matrix, you still don't get anything, and then you finally get a rainbow, and say you literally have like so many fish in your inventory, you could sell for 100 million. Now you'll sell for 150 million, which is, 50 million more, really beneficial. Just 50% more fish. That is a great value increase. Now, the next thing is going to be the other beneficial factors of this, which is going to be the starfall event. Now, the starfall event is very uncommon, natural naturally. Same with the aurora. And they think the aurora is a 0.6% chance. I think they're all 0.6% chance based on naturally occurrence. So 0.6% chance. And if you use the weather matrix, it's pretty much whatever weather event possible can happen at night. So whenever you use the weather matrix, there is pretty much like only a few weather events you can do. So you can do, if it's nighttime, it can potentially be one of these few things. So you can either have it be clear, foggy, windy, rainy, or an aurora or starfall if it's night, meaning your chances are absurdly higher. And I believe it's even pushed more towards the physical weather event happening rather than just being a different, weather type. And then during the day, it's actually the same, just, switched. So instead of an aurora, it's going to be the eclipse. And instead of the starfall, it's going to be the rainbow, meaning you have, once again, very, very high chances for these things naturally happening. But obviously, another beneficial thing, what you can do is you can use a totem. This is something I've messed around with. You can use a totem to switch to a weather event and then use the weather matrix. And what I've noticed is, most notably, I usually don't ever get the one that I was previously on. So say right now it's windy. If it's windy right now and then I use a smoke screen totem, most likely then when I use the weather matrix, I'm not going to get a windy and I won't get the foggy. So it like skips getting those two and then that. But once again, the other benefit of that is just there. Now, finally, for the weather matrix itself, the best way you can get this though, most notably is grinding the angler quest. Now, I would honestly recommend doing the one at Moosewood for the main sole reason of if you do have the bat rod from the fish fried event, you can just fish here, AFK here, all that. You'll get so many of the fish in this area, but alongside getting all the fish in the zone, you'll also be able to just, pretty much AFK it. Now, what I will say is I am working on making a basic like angler quest macro, which would be relatively simple, meaning you could AFK this a lot each night. I believe they made a delay, like a really annoying delay. Yeah, there's a 2-minute cooldown. So there used to be no cooldown, which was awesome, but there used to be no cooldown. So whenever the update first came out, there wasn't a cooldown. That's how I was able to get most of the items from it. Now though, on the other hand, there is a cooldown. It's 2 minutes, meaning you can do about 30 of these an hour, meaning, ideally if you AFK'd for potentially when we have our macro out, which you should join my Discord server. More information on that there. Join the Discord server, link in the description. What'll happen is you AFK for 8 hours, you get tons of these quests done and you'll get either a ton of totems, all this stuff, but you'll also potentially get the weather matrix. Now, as you see, the weather matrix has a 1-hour delay. Now, my favorite thing to do though with the weather matrix is honestly just joining servers and activating events. Now, as a note though, the funny part about the weather matrix is it actually, some events that can't be skipped because of sundials or things like that, it can actually force like reset it. So like, I think they might have patched it for one of them, but I remember joining a server that had a starfall and being able to force it to be something else with the weather matrix. And I think it might work with other events. Now, there's a very good chance that this has been, completely removed, but because that's completely unnecessary. But for the most part, you can pretty much give yourself whatever weather event you want. It is really overpowered. I would recommend trying to get this at least because they finally gave value to the angler quest. It used to be really useless, but now you can get all sorts of stuff. You can get that. You can get the angler glove. So the angler glove, when it's equipped, it appears on the player's hand, same as the voided gloves. It makes all bait 1.1 times more effective, meaning if say you have 100%, or not 100%, say like this 100 per furrow luck, it'll be 110 per furrow luck, which doesn't seem a lot, but it is very beneficial in the long run. And then there is a 50% chance you don't consume bait when you're fishing, which is really good, especially if you're using it on admin weather baits like the UFO bait, ones like those. But for the most part, that's pretty much it for this video. Make sure you